Welcome to this last part 3 of our stretch and tone Pilates Matwork session. We're going to come now onto your sides, and when we're lying on our sides, again obviously check you have room down below you for your legs, and you've got a couple of options for the upper body. You can either rest with your lower arm under your head and a cushion between your ear and your shoulder, or you can have a thicker cushion, much more substantial cushion. I actually need a few, and then rest your head onto your cushion and your lower arm out in front of you. So this is generally a more comfortable position if your neck and shoulders don't feel great, but if you want more challenge and if you're able to, you're going to keep your lower arm underneath your shoulder, underneath your head even, and support your head in this position. You could even fold your cushion in half to give you really good support. So we're going to start off with our front and back exercise. It's a leg exercise. I'm starting off with my legs right up in a 90-degree position, so my knees and my feet are right to the front of the mat. My hips are stacked one on top of the other, which should mean that my knees are level. My shoulders are stacked one on top of the other, and I've got the natural curves of my spine. So my lower back has its lumbar curve, the curve of my neck is in place, and my head is nice and relaxed. The neck should feel comfortable in this position. The top hand can either rest in front of your chest on the mat, or you can keep it along the top of your hip. And we're going to straighten the top leg to hip height and flex your foot. This leg is going to sweep forwards with the foot flexed, and then point your foot and pull the leg backwards and behind you, opening the front of your hip. Breathe out as you come forwards. Breathe in as you pull the leg behind you. The challenge with this exercise is to keep your spine absolutely still. So you are using your abdominal muscles to stabilize your spine in this neutral position. Good. Let's do one last one. And then rest the leg. Now we'll come into our bicycle legs. So for this exercise, we're going to make it a little bit more challenging by straightening both of the legs, but rather than the legs being backwards in line with your spine, they're towards the front corner of your mat. Then you're going to lift your top leg to hip height. Keep the foot much more relaxed this time. The straight leg will go backwards just behind your spine. Bend your knee, bring your knee forwards and straighten the leg. Straight leg goes back, bend the knee, bring the knee forward, straighten the leg. And again, you're working on really nice stability of the spine in this position. So not letting the pelvis rock, not letting the spine lose its natural curves. Don't forget to breathe, whatever pattern suits your body for this particular exercise. Let's do one more in this direction. Now let's reverse. So from your straight leg lifted at hip height, we bend the knee to bring it forwards. Tuck your foot behind you, straighten the leg behind you. Keep your balance. Sweep it forwards. Bend the knee. Tuck the foot back, straighten the leg. So now we're pedaling our bicycle backwards as we find more of a flow and rhythm for the exercise. Let's do 3 more. And when you finish that last one, rest the top leg. Let's bend the knees back up to 90 degrees and let them relax there. We're going to all use much more substantial head support now. So I want you to bring your lower arm in front of your chest and rest your head onto your head cushion. And your head is going to start at the very front of your head cushions. Your knees are staying grounded into the floor, and try not to let them separate or slide as you move your spine. Your arms are stacked one on top of the other. You'll notice the top arm is just slightly back from the bottom arm if your shoulders are indeed stacked level one on top of the other. We're going to then sweep your top hand and arm up towards your head and the top of the mat. Then you're going to turn your head back, your neck, your shoulders, your spine. The arm comes down to your hip and onto your bottom arm. So this is our chalk circle. We breathe in, breathe out to turn back, head, neck, spine and shoulder, and breathe in to lower, breathe out to return. Let's do 2 more in this direction, and then again we will reverse like we did with our bicycle legs. So to reverse, we take the top arm down to the hip. Now turn your head, neck and spine backwards. Sweep the arm up towards your top head and ear, and then release all the way back around again. Breathe in, breathe out to twist back, breathe in to lift the arm, and breathe out to come round. And we'll do 2 more in this direction. Remember that your knees and pelvis are staying really still. So there is the slightest bit of abdominal work going on here to stabilize. Great. So let's swap to the other side. So we're working symmetrically through the body. We're going to flip over or roll onto your other side. Let's come back to the leg exercises first. So make sure that you have room for your legs to stretch down the mat. Lower arm under the head or in front of you, depending on your support that you need. The legs are both bent to 90 degrees, knees are level, hips are level, shoulders are level. And the top arm lengthening along the top thigh, if not resting in front of the chest. We start off by straightening the top leg to hip height, flexing the foot. The top leg sweeps forwards as you breathe out. Point the foot, breathe in, take the leg behind you. Breathe out to come forwards. Breathe in to come back. Good, really nice. So remember the shoulders are stacked, the hips are level. We're keeping our spinal alignment as we're moving that leg front to back. Strengthening the thighs as the leg comes forwards, strengthening the bottom as the leg pulls back. Make this your last one. And then bend that knee. Stretch the legs down the mat to the front corner, and let's come into bicycle legs. The top leg lifts to hip height. It pulls back behind you. You bend the knee, pull the knee forwards and straighten the leg. Straight leg pulls back, bend the knee, bring the knee forward, straighten the leg. Good, well done. Think of that stability, so use the tummy muscles to stabilize the spine. Let the breath help you to move and to stabilize. Last one in this direction. Then let's reverse. Bend the knee, tuck the foot behind you, then straighten the leg behind you. Sweep it forwards. Bend the knee, tuck it back, stretch behind, sweep it forwards. So now reverse pedaling your bicycle. Good, that's really, really nice. Just 2 to finish. By now feeling that work around the hip socket as we strengthen the hip joint. And when you finish, rest the top leg, bend both of your knees, bring them right up to that 90-degree position. Swap to your thicker head cushion now to finish off with the chalk circles. So the bottom arm is in front, shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked, knees are level. Draw the tummy into the spine and begin by sweeping the top hand up towards the head. Turn the head, the neck, the shoulders back and the spine. The top arm sweeps down to your hip and around to your bottom arm. Breathing in as you start your circle. Breathing out as you twist back. Breathe in to lower the arm. Breathe out to circle. So just letting the head, the neck, the spine gently roll back each time that you twist behind you. But watch that those knees don't join in. This is our last one in this direction, and then let's reverse. The arm goes down to the hip, Now twist your spine back, sweep the arm all the way up to the top, and then come around and rest. 3 more. When you finish that last one, we're going to transition now onto our tummies. So let's take away those head cushions and we're going to roll over onto your front. We're going to start off with our diamond press exercise. So what I'd like you to do is to rest your head onto your fingertips. If that doesn't feel too comfortable, you could separate your hands and rest your head onto a cushion or onto your mat. So if your fingertips are touching, your forehead is resting onto the fingertips, elbows nice and wide to your sides and heavy onto the mat. There's just a little bit of space between the knees and between the feet. As I say, if this position feels really uncomfortable in the shoulders, separate the hands a little wider to make the shoulders more relaxed. And then draw the tummy towards your spine. Let's start with diamond press. We breathe in to prepare. Breathe out, slide the nose a little bit forwards, bring the back of your head up towards the ceiling and start to send your chest forwards and upwards away from the mat. Breath in at the top and breathe out as you come back down to rest. So you'll notice this is a small movement. We're just moving the top of the spine, trying to keep the lower back nice and still, which is why we need to keep the tummy muscles engaged. Feel that lift of your belly button coming up towards your spine. We'll do one more to finish, and then we'll add on a little challenge if you would like to add that challenge on. So next we're going to come into a little salute with the arms. So when you next come into your diamond press, you're going to float your right hand and elbow off the floor to make a salute and release. Staying up in the spine, bring the left hand and elbow up and release, and then come back down to rest. Breathe in at the bottom, engage the tummy. Breathe out to come up. Breathe in to pause, breathe out. Breathe in to lower, breathe out. Breathe in to lower and breathe out to come back. Let's do 2 more of these to finish off. This is an optional extra, just to help you to strengthen into those upper backs a little bit more than perhaps you were doing before. But remember, keep the tummy really strong. It has to work even more for this salute. When you finish there, rest your head, rest your arms, relax your body. Give your bum a little wiggle just to release the lower back. And we'll finish off with a leg exercise. I'm just going to shuffle slightly forward so you can see my feet. This is called prone circles. So now the legs are wider apart, almost to the corners of your mat. The heels drop in, the toes point towards the corners of the mat. And your upper body is nice and relaxed. The head can rest on your hands or on a cushion, wherever you feel comfortable. So we're going to start off with engaging the tummy again. You really want to feel that the lower back is supported as it works. The pelvis should stay level. The right leg lengthens and hovers just off the floor. Then we do 3 little circles in one direction and 3 in the other. And then relax the right leg, take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, lengthen the left leg, hover it, and then just breathe naturally for 3 circles in one direction and 3 circles in the other direction. And then relax the leg. Let's do 1 more set to each side. So we're toning, strengthening the legs, the bottom muscles and the lower backs, keeping the tummy really active to support your lower back. Last one to the left. when you finish there, you could either roll onto your back, hug your knees to your chest, or push yourself back into rest position. So your bum comes back towards your feet. Keep a little bit of space between your knees as you stretch your arms out in front and rest your head onto a cushion or straight onto the mat. Take some lovely big recovery breaths. Feel those back muscles lengthening and stretching out. And when you're ready, draw your tummy in, roll your stomach back, restack it all the way back up to good sitting. And let's finish off with a mermaid stretch. So what I want you to do is to come onto the middle of your mat. There should be even space on both sides of you. And for this last exercise, just to cool us down, we're going to start off very briefly on our knees, but then drop your bum down to the right. So your feet are to the left. And you can keep your knees together in this position with your feet together. Some people feel like they're going to fall over if they do that. So you might feel more stable if you have your knees open and your right foot resting against the left knee. I certainly find this more comfortable and definitely more stable. So I'm going to hold on to my left ankle with my left hand. My right hand rests onto the mat next to me. Just check the arm doesn't go behind you, so it's right next to your body. Sit up as tall as you can. Check that your shoulders, your hips are level to the front. And then start by floating your left arm up towards the ceiling, right towards the ear. Now slide your right hand along the floor until you can bend and rest onto your right elbow. And then reach your left arm all the way over. Take a big stretching breath there. And then breathe out. Lift yourself back. Use your waist muscles to lift your body. Hold onto the left ankle. The right arm comes up towards the ceiling. Stretch your spine to the left. Take a big breath in there and breathe out to come back up. We'll do 2 more to each side. Breathing in. Breathe out to go over onto that right elbow. Big stretch to the left. Well, stretch on the left side. Breathe out to lift. Breathe in, lift the right arm, breathe out, go over to the left. Breathe in there and breathe out to come back. So one last one to each side. Great. Let's swing the legs round to the other side, or just simply come onto your knees, drop over to the other side. So now my legs are to the right, my arm to the left. Sitting up tall again, find your good alignment. Hold on to that right ankle, let your left hand rest onto the mat. Let's start with the right arm, breathing in as it lifts. Breathe out to go over to the left, onto that left elbow. Breathe in to stretch. Breathe out to lift yourself back. Hold the right ankle, left arm comes up and we stretch to the right. And come back up. Now just check that you're always looking forwards as you do this exercise. Don't be tempted to look down to where you're going. Just hopefully that means that you're keeping your shoulders in good alignment as you stretch from side to side. This will be your last one. Big stretch into that right side of the body. Breathe out to lift yourself back. Breathe in to lift. Go over to the right for this last time, that lovely big stretch into the left. And breathe out to release. From there you could swing your legs around to the front, maybe come back into long frog position. If you would like to, you could do another spine stretch forward, just to release through the lower back, to release around the hips. Take a big breath into that position. Breathe out as you roll yourself back up. Sit up tall and straight, find that length into your body. I hope you feel really good from that stretching and that toning. And yeah, look forward to seeing you on the mat again in the near future. Bye for now.